KORK North Bay, your source for news and happenings throughout the North Bay.
Hello and thanks for watching KORK North Bay TV, where you'll find local news and happenings focused on the greater North Bay area. This broadcast is sponsored by Mike Larbre Automotive, 5-star ratings for all of your domestic and import automotive repair needs, located on Highway 12 in Sonoma. Mention you saw them here on KORK TV to receive a special discount. This broadcast is also sponsored by our friends at Sonoma Paint Center, your source for all of your home and automotive paint and supply needs.
Transform your home or business with Sonoma Paint Center. As your local Benjamin Moore retailer, we've got everything you need to paint inside and out, plus top quality stains. Step inside our Santa Rosa location or visit us in Sonoma, Sebastopol, and now our newest location in Napa. From vibrant colors to durable finishes and required supplies, we'll help you bring your vision to life. Sonoma Paint Center, serving you at Santa Rosa, Sonoma, Sebastopol, and now Napa. Sonoma Paint Center, color your world.
On Friday, up on the Russian River, just south of the town of Healdsburg, a dramatic air rescue took place after 3 people on a paddleboard got swept downstream into swift current and were stranded against some tree branches where they hung on for life. The 3 people consisted of 1 adult and 2 juveniles. Thankfully, all 3 were wearing life jackets. There was originally a 4th person with them, a female, who fell in and was swept downstream in the fast-moving current, but thankfully, she too was wearing a life vest and was able to swim to shore about 100 yards downstream from where the 3 others got stranded. Due to trees blocking the way to get to the 3 from shore, the Sonoma County Sheriff's helicopter Henry 1 was called, and a paramedic was lowered down on a long line who used a harness to rescue each one of the stranded people and bring them safely to shore. We have video of this dramatic rescue, so let's take a moment to watch. The 4th person who was with them originally, the woman who fell off and made it to shore downstream, was also airlifted up and back over to be reunited with her party. This river claims lives every year, most of which are people who weren't wearing life vests. Thankfully, this incident had a happy ending where no one was hurt or worse. A man who went missing back in 1999 and was never seen or heard from again was finally found and identified through DNA after a family on an outing at Salmon Creek State Beach back in 2022 found a bone sticking out of the sand while they were looking for seashells. The bone had surgical hardware attached to it from an operation at some point, so it was evident that it was probably human. The bone ended up being a tibia, which is the leg bone between the knee and the ankle. The family called authorities, and the beach was scoured for any more bones or evidence, but none was found. Initial DNA tests revealed that the bone belonged to a Caucasian male, but the case went cold after that. Later on, the bone was sent to a company called the DNA Doe Project, who works pro bono to find relatives of unidentified Jane and John Does, and this case was no exception. Thanks to excellent science and great teamwork, in January of 2026, the DNA Doe Project found a family match to the DNA contained in this bone. The family lived on the East Coast but moved to San Diego. As the researchers dug deeper into the family's DNA history, they found a man named Walter Carl Kenny who was born in 1940 down in San Diego and later in life moved up to Santa Rosa, which isn't that far from Salmon Creek Beach. Doing even more digging, the researchers found an article from 1999 about some human remains that had washed ashore just south of Bodega Bay. It turns out that the tibia bone that the family found on Salmon Creek Beach in 2022 and the remains that had washed ashore in 1999 near Bodega Bay belonged to the same unidentified John Doe. Well, thanks to the efforts of the DNA Doe Project, those remains have been identified to belong to Walter Carl Kenny, who was 59 years old when he went missing. Kenny was a former banker and someone his daughter, who lives down in San Diego, described as smart and sensitive, almost to a fault. This finding can help bring closure to the family, although how Mr. Kenny died is still not known, whether he was swimming at the beach and got swept out by the current, or maybe he fell off the cliff into the water. It's unknown and is something we may never know. It's nice that the family now has some sort of closure now to this 26-plus-year-old mystery. On Wednesday last week, a routine traffic stop in Santa Rosa quickly turned into a dangerous high-speed chase when the driver of the vehicle that the CHP unit tried to pull over decided to take off and make a run for it. This incident started on a northbound on-ramp to Highway 101 off of College Avenue when the CHP unit pulled the car over. At first, the car yielded and pulled over, but as soon as the Sonoma County helicopter Henry 1 was overhead, that's when the driver decided to make a run for it. The chase first began on Highway 101 heading northbound and then exiting a few miles up at River Road. Then the driver headed east over to Mark West Springs Road, then down to Rincon Valley where he got onto Highway 12 heading southbound, weaving in and out of traffic, dangerously passing people on the shoulder of the road and over the double yellow line, almost causing some head-on collisions. The chase continued down to the town of Kenwood, where the driver finally lost control, went into the oncoming lane and then into a vineyard in front of Landmark Winery, where he rolled over and finally came to a stop. Let's take a look now at some footage captured by Henry 1 and the audio between the chopper crew and the ground units where the suspect was finally taken into custody.
Henry 1, go ahead.
Get off. CHP's going to 1022. CHP was requesting you guys to assist with higher stop, and the vehicle just took off, getting back on 101 from College. 103.
Anyone still speeds?
Copy, CHP completely backed off. He's 23, 103. Post 26. 1741.
Anyone eastbound River, and that actually is going to be Mark West Springs. But eastbound Mark West Springs approaching Old Red.
He's going to be eastbound Mark West Springs. Still high rate of speed coming up to Old Red.
Eastbound Mark West Springs approaching Old Red. Copy, eastbound Mark West Springs coming up to Old Red. High rate of speed.
10-8, can start responding.
He just blew the red on Old Red.
And he just blew the red on Old Red. He's still eastbound.
70.
Sheriff 101, he almost just caused a head-on TC on Rebley.
Still southbound on Rebley.
Copy, almost caused head-on TC on Rebley.
It's that gold Jeep.
And when he stopped at the red now, stopped in traffic at the red.
Spikes at Fountain Grove and Sinead.
Looks like he's set up to go.
Everyone, our guys are trying to, they've gone head-on to try and block him.
Being boxed in now. It looks like
It looks like they got him boxed in pretty good. Hey, you're going to come, he's taking off again. He's taking off again.
Everyone is taking off again.
He just went through the intersection. He's still southbound Brush Creek again. High rate of speed.
Everyone, vehicle taking off again, southbound Brush Creek, high rate of speed.
And Highway 12, he is set up. He's now going eastbound 12. And he's coming into some pretty good traffic here.
Anyone,
he's passing on the shoulder about 60 miles an hour.
Traffic. He's passing on the right shoulder.
Passing on the shoulder, 60 miles per hour. Eastbound 12, approaching Mission, heavy traffic. He's passing on the right shoulder.
Anyone passing Oakmont Drive, eastbound, speeds 90. Still eastbound 12.
All right, he's coming into Kenwood now.
Trinity.
Oh, he just TC'd into a vineyard. TC'd, he rolled into a vineyard. Go and start medical. I'll get you address here shortly.
Copy,
205 Adobe Canyon. He just rolled into the vineyard. 205 Adobe Canyon, right off 12.
Just fronting 8204.
Copy 205 Adobe Canyon.
Highway 12. One's out of the car now. One's out of the car. HMA, all white.
All right, Enter one. One is out of the car. He's got his hands up now.
One party out of the vehicle in front of 8204 Highway 12. We're SOK9 and SRPD approaching now. Subject prone down on the ground.
For some reason, neither the Sheriff's Department nor the CHP disclosed the suspect's name. We're just glad that he didn't hurt or kill anyone in his ridiculous and dangerous attempt to get away. In Tomales Bay last week, a couple in their 30s and their dog were out on the bay in their kayak when their kayak overturned and both of them fell out along with their dog. The winds had picked up that day and created 3-foot swells, which is what most likely caused the kayak to overturn. But as of now, there's no official cause. Someone on shore saw the people and their dog in the water, so they called 911. The Sonoma County Sheriff's helicopter, Henry 1, was on scene within 12 minutes and found the man clinging to the kayak with his dog standing on the hull of the capsized kayak. Both the man and the woman had life jackets on when they capsized, but according to the man, he said his girlfriend slipped out of hers and drowned. A flight officer was lowered down on a long line and picked up the man, then flew him over to shore. Once he was on shore, they went back looking for the woman. She was found floating face down about 200 yards from the kayak and was picked up by the same flight officer and brought to shore, where paramedics from the Marin Fire Department began life-saving measures and then transported her to the hospital. But unfortunately, she was pronounced deceased at the hospital. The cameras on Henry 1 captured the rescue of the man, so let's take a look now at this dramatic rescue. Now, you may have seen the dog jump in the water and get left behind as its owner was being rescued. Not to worry, the dog was rescued by National Park Rangers and was later picked up by friends of the couple and is said to be doing okay. The man was transported to the hospital and treated for hypothermia. What was supposed to be a fun day kayaking on the bay turned into a horrific and heartbreaking tragedy. Our condolences go out to the woman's family. In Napa Valley on Saturday last week, a tragic 3-vehicle collision proved to be fatal for 3 people and sent 6 others with injuries to the hospital. This incident took place at noon on the Silverado Trail near Stag's Leap Cellars between Oak Knoll Avenue and Oakville Crossroad when a Mitsubishi sedan being driven by 68-year-old William Brumley, a resident of Vallejo, was heading southbound and suddenly crossed the center yellow line in the road, sideswiping a northbound BMW SUV, then continued on and went head-on into a Toyota sedan that was following behind the BMW SUV. The impact proved to be fatal for both of Brumley's passengers. The 2 people in the BMW SUV sustained minor injuries, and the 4 people who were in the Toyota sedan sustained major injuries and were all transported to the hospital. Unfortunately, a rear passenger in that car later died at the hospital. Brumley was transported to the hospital, where he was later arrested for the suspicion of being under the influence of a drug. There was no word in any of the press releases that we got that indicated whether the drug was a prescription medication that he takes or an illegal drug. It just said a drug. An investigation is underway to determine all of the details of the incident. If any more comes out about it, we'll bring it to you. Our condolences go out to the deceased people's families. In Napa Valley on Saturday at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a fire broke out up on the eastern hillside of the valley in the Deer Park area on Sunnyside Road. According to some info that we got, it began as a permitted controlled burn that somehow got out of hand and ended up spreading. Thanks to the quick response of CAL FIRE's Sonoma Lake Napa unit, the fire was contained and under control by Saturday evening. In all, the fire burned 12 acres, but thankfully did not involve any structures and no injuries were reported. In the town of Cotati on Wednesday night last week, shortly after 11:15, several calls came into the Cotati Police Department about the sound of gunshots being heard on the 7000 block of Marsh Way. Several officers immediately responded to the area and began their investigation. What they found was that approximately 6 shots were fired through a bedroom window of an occupied home. Thankfully, no one inside was injured or worse. With some more detective work, investigators were able to identify the suspect as 18-year-old Robert Grant, a resident of Santa Rosa. Grant was arrested and booked into Sonoma County Jail on charges of shooting at an inhabited dwelling, possession of a stolen firearm, and several others. There was no information on why he did what he did. We're just glad that no one was injured or worse in this ridiculous and dangerous incident. In the town of Petaluma, police and fire investigators have been working on trying to find out who has been causing several fires in the downtown area last week. The first fire happened at about 3:20 in the morning on the 400 block of Copeland Street, where an abandoned RV was fully engulfed in flames. Petaluma firefighters immediately arrived on scene and extinguished the fire. An arson investigation is underway to determine the cause of that fire. And then the very next day at 1 o'clock in the morning, the fire department responded to a vegetation fire along the riverbank behind the grocery outlet shopping area, where they say an unknown suspect had started the fire. Then, just a half hour later, yet another vegetation fire was started on the 400 block of North Water Street. That fire was also believed to have been started by an unknown suspect. Thankfully, no damage to any structures happened in either of those early morning fires. Investigators are checking for surveillance footage in hopes that the suspect can be identified. Hopefully, they can figure out who the suspected arsonist is and get him behind bars before he causes some serious damage or worse. In Novato last Sunday, during the early morning hours, a sad and tragic fatal accident happened after a Toyota Highlander heading northbound on Highway 101 veered off the highway and crashed into a concrete pillar where eastbound Highway 37 begins. The 2 people in the vehicle were identified as 84-year-old Donald Rosenthal and his 70-year-old wife, Elsie Rosenthal, both residents of Petaluma, who tragically were both pronounced deceased at the scene. Investigators are trying to determine what caused the crash. Our condolences go out to their family. This story is a tragic one that at first seems like it isn't about the North Bay, but in a tragic way it is. Last weekend out near Floreston, which is an area most people have never heard of, but have driven by it many times on their way to Reno, Nevada, as it's only a few miles from the Nevada border on Highway 80. Running along the highway throughout that area is the Truckee River, and that's where this tragedy begins. A 19-year-old young man went missing last Saturday while swimming in the cold, fast-moving water of the Truckee River. A team of searchers from multiple agencies began scouring the area for the young man, including the use of helicopters, drones, plus ground and water rescue teams, including canines. Unfortunately, on Monday, they found the young man and recovered his body from the river. He was identified as Brian Gallardo, a resident of our North Bay town of Petaluma. This is such a sad story. Our condolences go out to his family.
KORK North Bay TV is adding a new segment to our news broadcasts called My Awesome Pet, where we'll be featuring videos sent in by you, our viewers, of your pets doing cool tricks or funny things, kind of like America's Funniest Videos, but featuring your awesome pets. Then, each segment will be followed by a pet care tip from a professional at a local veterinary hospital or animal shelter. Each week we'll be airing a new segment featuring someone's awesome pet, followed by a new professional pet care tip. How can you participate in this and get your pet featured on TV? Just send us a video clip of your awesome pet, and if we like it, we'll air it on the segment. Be sure to tell us all about your awesome pet, like its name, how old it is, what breed or type it is, and any other fun information you might have about why your pet is awesome. Clips can be emailed to us at info@korktv.com. That's info@korktv.com. Or if you have a video clip uploaded to a cloud or a hosting service, like YouTube or Vimeo, just email us the link so we can download it. It's that easy. If we like the clip, we'll air it. If you don't already have a video clip of your awesome pet, just make one and email it to us. Everyone has a smartphone with a video camera, right? You don't need anything more. We can't wait to see your awesome pet. Well, that's it for our broadcast today. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We'd like to wish everyone a safe, happy, and healthy week.